तो आप संस्कृत पढ़ा ना वर्ष, तो वर्ष पढ़ेंगे।
संस्कृत तो मैं तो पता नहीं, मेरा तो बोटारा होगा प्रभु जी।
No, she read last time.
But there wasn't that much Sanskrit last time.
ओके, अभी स्क्रीन शेयर करेंगे। स्क्रीन शेयर। ओके, आ रहा है यूट्यूब। हेलो। ओके, चैप्टर आप शुरू कर दीजिए।
Camera off है
यहाँ से
हाँ,
You can
Text
off the
through.
camera probably.
कैमरा ऑफ कर सकते हैं ना?
कैमरा कैमरा ऑन रहता है, मेरे को नहीं पता, आप तो मर्जी से कर लीजिए, मेरे को तो
ऐसे-
लीला
ऐसे ना?
मंदिर ही
ऐसे।
माता है। हाँ,
Support कर
Video
सकते हैं।
जी, camera on.
ये दबा दीजिए, ये दबा दीजिए।
अभी शुरू।
हाँ,
ओके।
ओके, ईयरफोन लगा के पढ़िए।
टेक्स्ट।
वो भी लगा दूंगा।
जय जय किशोर किशोरी की जय, बदनापति सुभद्रा माई की जय, गौमिताई की जय। ओके, चैतन्य। ये क्यों ऊपर नहीं गया प्रभु जी?
ऐसे कर लीजिए,
ऊपर भी ना यार.
हाँ, कहाँ से?
2 उंगलियों से।
दो उंगली से कि और जब मौजूद है सो तुम सोच का वो वाई इस ना कौन?
अरे बाप रे बाप, ये दबाइए माता जी, ये बता।
छोड़िए छोड़िए।
Yeah, well, you ऊपर भी ना. 1 or 2.
ओके।
अरे दीजिए माँ। ऐसे
ओके, सो
करता है, ऐसे कर दीजिए।
ऐसा भी जाता है। ओके, टेक्स्ट 103 translation. If the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not bestowed upon a person, regardless of how learned a scholar that person may be, and regardless of his seeing or listening, he cannot accept Lord Chaitanya as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. The same principles can be applied to demonstrate persons, even though they may be in Sampradaya of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without receiving the Lord's special power. One cannot preach his glories all over the world. Even though one may celebrate himself as a learned follower of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and even though one may attempt to preach the holy name of the Lord all over the world, if he is not favored by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he will find fault with the pure devotee and will not be able to understand how a preacher is empowered by Lord Chaitanya. One must be considered bereft of the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he criticizes the Krishna consciousness movement now spreading all over the world, or finds fault with this movement or the leader of the movement. Text 104. Lord Brahma said, "My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years." Purport. The verse is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam. 10.1429. It is explained in the Madhya Lila in the 6th chapter, text 84. Text 105. The king said, instead of visiting the temple of Lord Jagannath, all the devotees are running towards the residence of Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Text 106 translation. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, this is spontaneous love. All the devotees are very anxious to meet Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Text 107 translation. First, the devotees will meet Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu and then take him with them to the temple to see Lord Jagannath. Text 108 translation. The king said, the son of Bhavanananda Rai named Vani Nath along with 5 or 7 other men went there to obtain the remnants of Lord Jagannath's food. Text 109 translation. Indeed, Vaninath has already gone to the residence of Lord Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu and has taken a huge quantity of Mahaprasadam. Please let me know the reason for this. Text 110 translation. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, understanding that all the devotees have come, Lord Chaitanya gave the sign, and therefore Vaninath and the others have brought such great quantities of Mahaprasadam. Text 111 translation. The king then asked the Bhattacharya, why have the devotees not observe the regulations for visiting the pilgrimage place, such as fasting, shaving, and so on? Why have they first eaten prasadam? Text 112 translation. The Bhattacharya told the king, what you have said to right according to the regulative principle governing the visiting of holy places, but there is another path, which is the path of spontaneous love. According to those principles, there are subtle intricacies involved in the execution of religious purpose. According to the Vedic regulative principle, one has to be celibate before entering a holy place of pilgrimage. Generally, people are very much addicted to sense gratification, and unless they have sex at night, they cannot sleep. The regulative principles therefore enjoin that before a common man goes to a holy place of pilgrimage, he should observe complete celibacy. As soon as one enters a holy place, he must observe fasting for the day, and after shaving his head clean, he must take a bath in a river or ocean near the holy place. Those methods are adopted to neutralize the effects of sinful activities. Visiting a holy place of pilgrimage means neutralizing the reactions of a sinful life. Those who go to holy places of pilgrimage actually unload the reactions of their sinful lives, and consequently holy places are overloaded with sinful activities left there by visitors. When a saintly person or pure devotee visits such a holy place, he observes the sinful effects left by the common man and again purify the holy place. Tirthi Kura Vanti Tirthani. Bhaga 1.3.10. Therefore, a common man's visit to a holy place and an exalted saintly person's visit there are different. The common man leaves his sins in the holy place, and a saintly person or devotee cleanses these sins simply by his presence. The devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were not common men. and they could not be subjected to the rules and regulations governing the visiting of holy places. Rather, they exhibited their spontaneous love for Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Immediately upon arrival at the holy place, they went to see Lord Chaitanya, and by his order they took Mahaprasadam without following the regulations governing holy places. Text 113. The scriptural injunction for saving and starting fasting are in directed orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, when there is a direct order from the Lord to take prasadam, naturally the devotees take prasadam as their first duty. Text 114. When Mahaprasadam is not available, there must be fasting, but when the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly orders one to take prasadam, neglecting such an opportunity is offensive. Text 15. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is distributing prasadam with his transcendental hand, who will neglect such an opportunity and accept the regulative principles of fasting? Text 116. Previously, the Lord gave me Mahaprasadam rice one morning, and I ate it just sitting on my bed without having even washed my face. Text 17. The man to whom the Lord shows his mercy by inspiring him within the heart takes shelter only of Lord Krishna and abandon all Vedic and social customs. Purport. This is also the teaching of Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Sarva dharma parityajya mamekam saranam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshashyami ma sucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Such firm faith in the Supreme Personality of God is possible only by the mercy of the Lord. The Lord is sitting within everyone's heart, and when he personally inspires his devotee, the devotee does not stick to the Vedic principles or social custom, but rather devotes himself to the transcendental loving service of the Lord. This is confirmed in the following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 4.29.46. Text 18. When one is inspired by the Lord, who is sitting in everyone's heart, he does not care for social custom or Vedic regulative principles. Purport. This introduction, Bhaga 4.29.46, was taken by Narad Goswami to King Prajinavarahi in connection with the story of Paranjana. Here, Narada implies, but without the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot extricate himself from the fruitive activities that are under the jurisdiction of the Vedas. In previous verses, Bhaga 4.29.42 through 44, Narada admits that even personalities like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Manu, the Prajapatis, headed by Daksha, the four Kumaras, Marichi, Artri, Angira, Pulatya, Pulaha, Krutu, Brigu, Vasistha, and even Narada himself could not properly receive the causeless mercy of the Lord. Text 119. After this, King Parudra came down from the top of his place to the ground and called for Kasi Mishra and the inspector of the temple. Text 120 to 121. Maharaj Parudra then told both Kasi Mishra and the temple inspector provide all the devotees and associates of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu with comfortable residences, convenient eating facilities for prasadam, and convenient visiting arrangements at the temple so that there will not be any difficulties. Text 122. The orders of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu must be carefully carried out. Although the Lord may not given direct orders, you are still to carry out his desire simply by understanding his indication. 123. Saying this, the king gave them permission to leave. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya also went to see the assembly for all the Vaishnavas. Text 124. From a distant place, Gopinath Acharya and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the meeting of all the Vaishnavas with Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 125. Beginning from the right side of the lion gate or the main gate of the temple, all the Vaishnavas began to proceed toward the house of Kasi Mishra. Text 126. In the meantime, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, accompanied by his personal associates, met all the Vaishnavas on the road with great jubilance. Text 127. First, Advaita Acharya offered prayer to the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord immediately embraced him in ecstatic love. Text 128. Indeed, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya displayed agitation due to ecstatic love, seeing the time and circumstances. However, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained patient. Text 129. After this, all the devotees, handed by Srivasa Thakur, offered prayers to the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord embraced each and every one of them in great love and ecstasy. Text 130. The Lord addressed all the devotees one after another and took all of them with him into the house. 131. Since the residence of Kasi Mishra was insufficient, all the assembled devotees were very much overwhelmed. Text 132. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu made all the devotees sit at his side, and with his own hand he offered them garlands and sandalwood pearl. Text 133. After this, Gopinath Acharya and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya made all the Vaishnavas at the place of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu in a befitting manner. Text 134. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu addressed Advaita Acharya Prabhu saying, "Sweetly, my dear sir, today I have become perfect because of your arrival." Text 135 through 136. Advaita Acharya Prabhu replied, "This is a natural characteristic of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although he is personally complete and full in all opulences. He takes transcendental pleasure in the association of his devotees, with whom he has a variety of eternal pastimes." Text 137. As soon as Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu saw Vasudev Datta, the older brother of Mukunda Datta, he immediately became very happy and, placing his hand on his body, began to speak. Text 138. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Although Mukunda is my friend from childhood, I nonetheless take greater pleasure in seeing you than in seeing him." Purport. Vasudeva Datta was the older brother of Mukunda Dutt, who was the childhood friend of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is naturally a great pleasure to see a friend, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informed Vasudev that although it was his pleasure to see his friend, his pleasure was increased by seeing the older brother. Text 138. Vasudev replied, Mukunda got your association in the beginning. As such, he has taken shelter at your lotus feet. This is his transcendental rebirth. Text 140. Thus, Vasudev Dutt admitted his inferiority to Mukunda, his younger brother. Although Mukunda is my junior, he said, he first received your favor. Consequently, he began transcendentally senior to me. Beside that, you very much favor Mukunda. Thus, he is superior in all good qualities. Text 141. The Lord said, for your sake only I have brought 2 books from South India. Text 142. The books are being kept with Swarupa Damodar and you can get them copied. Hearing this, Vasudeva became very glad. Text 143. Indeed, each and every Vaishnava copied the 2 books by the 2 books, the Brahma Samhita and Sri Krishna Caritamrta, were broadcast all over India. Text 144. The Lord addressed Srivasa and his brother with great love and affection, saying, I am so obliged that I am purchased by you for brothers. Text 145. Srivasa then replied to the Lord, why are you speaking in a contradictory way? Rather, we 4 brothers have been purchased by your mercy. Text 46. After saying, Sankara, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Damodar, my affection for you is on the platform of awe and reverence. Purport. Here the Lord is addressing Damodar Pandit, who is different from Swarupa Damodar. Damodar Pandit is the elder brother of Sankara. Thus the Lord informed Damodar that his affection towards him was on the platform of awe and reverence. However, the Lord's affection towards his younger brother Sankara was on the platform of pure love. Text 147. Therefore, keep your younger brother Sankara with you because he is connected to me by pure unalloyed love. Text 148. Damodar Pandit replied, Sankara is my younger brother, but from today he becomes my elder brother because of your special mercy upon him. Text 149. This turning towards Sivananda Sen and Lord say, I know that from the very beginning your affection for me has been very great. 150. Immediately upon hearing this, Shivananda Sen became absorbed in ecstatic love and fell down on the ground, offering obeisances to the Lord. He then began to recite the following verses. Text 151. O my Lord, O unlimited one, although I was immersed in the ocean of nescience, I have now, after a long time, attained you just as one may attain the seashore. My dear Lord, by getting me, you have obtained the right person upon whom to bestow your causeless mercy. Quote. This is verse 21 from the Stotra Ratna composed by Alabandaru Yamuna Jacharya. one's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead may be reestablished even after one fall down into the ocean of nescience, which is the ocean of material existence involving the repetition of birth, death, old age, and disease, all arising out of the acceptance of the material body. There are 8,400,000 species of material life, but in the human body, one attains a chance to get released from the repetition of birth and death. When one becomes the Lord's devotee, he is rescued from this dangerous ocean of birth and death. The Lord is always prepared to shower his mercy upon fallen souls struggling against miserable material condition, as Lord Krishna states in Bhagavad-kīta 15.7, Mai vamso jivaloke jivabhutah sanatanaha manaha sasthani nindriyani prakriti sthani karsati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental part due to conditioned life. They are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. Thus, every living being in struggling hard in this material nature, actually the living entities is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and when he surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he attains release from the ocean of birth and death. The Lord being very kind to fallen souls is always anxious to get the living entities out of the ocean of nescience. If the living entity understands this position and surrenders to the Lord, his life becomes successful. Text 152. Murari Gupta and first did not meet the Lord, but rather remained outside the door, falling down like a stick to offer obeisances. 153. When Lord Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu could not see Murari amongst the devotees, he inquired about him. Thereupon, many people immediately went to Murari, running to take him to the Lord. Text 154. Thus Murari Gupta, catching two bunches of straw in his teeth, went before Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu with humility and meekness. 155. Upon seeing Murari come to meet him, Lord Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu went up to him, but Murari began to run away and speak as following. Text 156. My Lord, please do not touch me. I am most abominable and am not fit for you to touch because my body is sinful. Text 157. The Lord says, my dear Murari, please restrain your unnecessary humility. My mind is disturbed to see your meekness. 158. Saying this, the Lord embraced Murari and had him sit down by his side. The Lord then began to clean his body with his own hands. Text 159 through 160. Sri Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu thus again and again embraced all the devotees, including Acharya Ratna, Vidya Nidhi, Pandit Gadadhara, Gangadhas, Hari Bhatta, and Acharya Purandar. The Lord described their good qualities and glorified them again and again. 161. After thus offering respect to each and every devotee, Lord Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu became very jubilant. However, not seeing Haridas Thakur, he inquired, where is Haridas? Text 162. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then saw in the distance that Haridas Thakur was lying down flat on the road offering obeisances. Text 163. Haridas Thakur did not come to the Lord's meeting place, but remaining falling flat on the common road at a distance. 164. Text 164. All devotees then went to Haridas Thakur saying, "The Lord wants to meet you, please come immediately." Text 165. Haridas Thakur replied, "I cannot go near the temple because I am a low caste, abominable person. I have no authority to go there." Purport. Although Haridas Thakur was such a highly exalted Vaishnava that he was addressed as Haridas Goswami, he still did not like to disturb the common sense of the general populace. Haridas Thakur was so exalted that he was addressed as Thakura and Goswami, and these titles are offered to the most advanced Vaishnava. The spiritual master is generally called Goswami, and Thakuras is used to address the Paramahamsas, those in the topmost rank of spirituality. Nevertheless, Haridas Thakur did not want to go near the temple, although he was called there by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. The Jagannath temple still accepts all those Hindus who are in the Varnashram order. Other castes, especially those who are not Hindu, are not allowed to enter the temple. This is a long-standing regulation, and thus Haridas Thakur, although certainly competent and qualified to enter the temple, did not want even to go near it. This is called Vaishnava humility. Text 166. Haridas Thakur then expressed his desire, "If I could just get a solitary place near the temple, I could stay there alone and pass my time." Text 167. I do not wish the servants of Lord Jagannath to touch me. I will remain there in the garden alone. This is my desire. 168. When this message was replied to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by the people, the Lord became very happy to hear it. Text 169. At this time, Kasi Mishra, along with the superintendent of the temple, came and offered his respects unto the lotus feet of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 170. Upon seeing all the Vaishnava together, Kasi Mishra and the superintendent became very happy. With great happiness, they met with the devotees in the befitting manner. Text 171. Both submitted to the Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, "Please give us order so that we may make proper arrangements to accommodate all the Vaishnavas." Text 172. Accommodations have been arranged for all the Vaishnavas. Now let us distribute Mahaprasadam to all of them. Text 173. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately told Gopinath Acharya, "Please go to the Vaishnavas and accommodate them in whatever residences Kasi Mishra and the temple superintendents offer." Text 174. Then the Lord told Kasi Mishra and the temple superintendent, "As for the remnants of the food left by Jagannath, let them to deliver to Vaninath Rai's charge, for he can take care of all the Vaishnavas and distribute Mahaprasadam to them." Text 175. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu then said, nearby my place is this garden of flowers, is a single room that is very solitary. Text 176. Please give them room to me, for I have a need for it. Indeed, I shall remember the lotus feet of the Lord sitting in that solitary place. Purport. This statement of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is significant. Nibrahete Vasya Tahana Kariva Smarana. I shall sit down there in their solitary place and remember the lotus feet of the Lord. Neopath students are not to be imitated sitting in a solitary place and remembering the lotus feet of the Lord by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We should always remember that it was Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu himself who wanted such a place, either for himself or Haridas Thakur. No one can suddenly attain the level of Haridas Thakur and sit down in a solitary place to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and remember the lotus feet of the Lord. Only the exalted person like Haridas Thakur or Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who is personally exhibiting the proper behavior for an acharya, can engage in such a practice. At the present moment, we see that some of the members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness are tending to leave their preaching activities in order to sit in a solitary place. This is not a very good sign. It is a fact that Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has condemned this process for neophytes. He has even stated in a song, Pratis Thara Tare Nirjanera Ghare Tava Hari Nama Kevala Kaitava. Sitting in a solitary place, intending to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is considered a cheating process. This practice is not possible for neophytes at all. The neophyte devotee must act and work very laboriously under the direction of the spiritual master, and he must thus preach the cult of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Only after maturing in devotion can he sit down in solitary place to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra as Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu himself did. Although Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead to teach us a lesson, he traveled all over India continuously for 6 years and only then retired at Jagannath Puri. Even at Jagannath Puri, the Lord chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in great meetings at the Jagannath temple. The point is that one should not try to imitate Haridas Thakur at the beginning of one's transcendental life. One must first become very mature in devotion and thus receive the approval of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Only at such a time may one actually sit down peacefully in a solitary place to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and remember the lotus feet of the Lord. The senses are very strong, and if a neophyte devotee imitates Haridas Thakur, his enemy, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsyarya, will disturb and fatigue him. Instead of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the neophytes will simply sleep soundly, preaching work in meant for advanced devotees, and when an advanced devotee is further elevated on the devotional scale, he may retire to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in a solitary place. However, if one simply imitates advanced spiritual life, he will fall down just like the Sahajya in Vrindavan. Text 177. Kasi Mishra then told Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, everything belongs to you. What is the use of your begging? By your own will, you can take whatever you like. Text 178. My Lord, we are your true servant and are here just to carry out your orders. By your mercy, please tell us to do whatever you want. Text 179. Saying this, Kasi Mishra and the temple inspector took their leave, and Gopinath and Vaninath went with them. Text 180. Gopinath was then shown all the residential places, and Vaninath was given large quantities of food, Mahaprasadam left by Lord Jagannath. Text 181. Thus Vaninath Rai returned with large quantities of Lord Jagannath's food remnants, including cakes and other good eatables. Gopinath Acharya also returned after cleaning all the residential quarters. Text 182. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu then addressed all the Vaishnava and requested that they listen to him. He said, now you can go to your respective residential quarters. Text 183. Go to the sea and bathe and look at the top of the temple. After so doing, please come back here and take your lunch. Text 184. After offering obeisances to Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees departed for their residences, and Gopinath Acharya showed them their respective quarters. 185. Text 185. After this, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu went to meet Haridas Thakur, and he saw himself engaged in chanting the Mahamantra with ecstatic love. Haridas chanted, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Text 186. As soon as Haridas Thakur saw Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he immediately fell down like a stick to offer him obeisances, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu raised him up and embraced him. Text 187. Then both of Lord and his servant began to cry in ecstatic love. Indeed, the Lord was transformed by the qualities of his servant, and the servant was transformed by the qualities of his master. Purport. The Mayavadi philosophers say that the living entity and the Supreme Lord are non-different, and therefore they equate the transformation of the living entity with the transformation of the Lord. In other words, Mayavadis say that if the living entity is pleased, the Lord is also pleased. And if the living entity is displeased, the Lord is also displeased. By juggling words in this way, Mayavadis try to prove that there is no difference between the living entity and the Lord. Thus, however, is not a fact. In this verse, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explained Prabhu Guna Britya Vikala Prabhu Vritya Guna. The Lord and the living entity are not equal, for the Lord is always the master and the living entity is always the servant. Transformation takes place due to transcendental qualities, and it is thus said that the servant of the Lord is the heart of the Lord, and the Lord is in the heart of the servant. This is also explained by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Ye yasthamam prapadyante Mama Vartmanu Varantante Tamaste Tamas Tathaiva Bhajamyaham Manushyaha Paratha Sarva Bharasaha. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all aspects. Follow my path in all respects, O son of Parth. The Lord is always eager to congratulate the servant because of the servant's transcendental qualities. The servant pleasingly renders service unto the Lord, and the Lord also very pleasingly reciprocates, rendering even more service unto the servant.
Text 188. Haridas Thakur said, "My dear Lord, please do not touch me, for I am most fallen and untouchable and am the lowest among men." Text 189. The Lord said, "I wish to touch you just to be purified, for your purified activities do not exist in me." Purport. This is an example of the reciprocation of the feeling between master and servant. The servant thinks that he is the most impure and that the master should not touch him. And the master thinks that because he has become impure by associating with so many impure living entities, he should touch a pure devotee like Haridas Thakur just to purify himself. Actually, both the servant and the master are already purified because neither of them is in touch with the impurities of the material existence. They are already equal in the quality because both of them are the purest. There is a difference in quantity, however, because the master is unlimited and the servant is limited. Consequently, the servant always remains subordinate to the master, and this relationship is eternal and undisturbed. As soon as the servant feels like becoming the master, he falls into Maya. Thus, it is by misuse of the free will that one falls under the influence of Maya. The Mayavadi philosophers try to explain the quality of master and servant in terms of the quantity, but they fail to explain why. If the master and servant are equal, the servant falls victim to Maya. They try to explain that when the servant, the living entity, is out of the clutches of the Maya, he immediately becomes the so-called master again. Such an explanation is never satisfactory. Being unlimited, the master cannot become the victim of Maya. For in such a case, his unlimitedness would be creep or limited. Thus, the Mayavad explanation is not correct. The fact is that the master is always master and unlimited, and the servant being limited is sometimes curtailed by the influence of Maya. Maya is also the master energy and is also unlimited. Therefore, the limited servant or limited living entity is forced to remain under the master of the master potency, Maya. Being freed from Maya's influence, one can again become a pure servant and equal quantitatively to the Lord. The relationship between master and servant continue due to their unlimited and limited respective. Text 190. Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu exalted the Haridas Thakur, stating, "At every moment you take your bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage, and at moment you perform great sacrifices, austerity, and charity." Text 191. You are constantly studying the four Vedas, and you are far better than any Brahmins or sannyasi. Text 192. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then recited the following verse: My dear Lord, one who always keeps your holy name on his tongue become greater than an initiated Brahman. Although he may be born in the family of dog eaters and therefore, by material calculation, may be the lowest among men, he is still glorious. This is the wonderful event of chanting the holy name of the Lord. It is therefore concluded that one who chants the holy name of the Lord should be understood to have performed all kinds of austerities and great sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas. He has already taken his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. He has studied all the Veds, and he is actually Aryan. Purport. The word Arya means advanced. Unless one is spiritually advanced, he cannot be called an Aryan. And this is the difference between Aryan and non-Aryan. The Aryans are those who are not spiritually advanced. By following the Vedic culture, by performing great sacrifices, and becoming the strict followers of the Vedic instructions, one may become a Brahman, a sannyasi, or Aryan. It is not possible to become Brahman, sannyasi, or Aryan without being properly qualified. Bhagavatam Dharma never allows one to become the chief Brahman, sannyasi, or Aryan. The qualities or qualification described here are quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.7 are spoken by Devahuti, the mother of Kapil Dev. When she understood the influence of devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, in this way, Devahuti praised the devotees, pointing out his greatness in all respects. Text 193. Saying this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Haridas Thakur within the flower garden, and there in a very secluded place, he showed him his residence. Text 194. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested Haridas Thakur, remain here and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I shall personally come here to meet you daily. Text 195. Remain here peacefully and look at the khakra on the top of the temple and offer the obeisances. As far as your prasadam is concerned, I shall arrange to have that sent here. Purport. Since he was born in a Muslim family, Srila Haridas Thakur could not enter the temple of Jagannath due to temple restrictions. Nonetheless, he was recognized by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Namaracharya Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, however, considered himself unfit to enter the Jagannath temple. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could have personally taken Haridas Thakur into the Jagannath temple if he wished, but the Lord did not like to disturb a popular custom. Consequently, the Lord asked his servant simply to look at the Vishnu wheel on the top of the temple and offer the obeisances, Nam Namaskara. This means that if one is not allowed to enter the temple, or if he thinks himself unfit to enter the temple, he can look at the wheel from the outside the temple, and that is as good as seeing the deity within. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu promised to come daily to see Srila Haridas Thakur, and this indicates that Sri Haridas Thakur was so advanced in the spiritual life that, although considered unfit to enter the temple, he was being personally visited by the Lord every day. Nor was there any need for his going outside his residence to collect food. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu assured the Haridas Thakur that the remnants of his food would be sent there. As the Lord stated in the Bhagavad Gita 9.22, Yoga Chemana Bahami Aham. I arrange all life's necessities for my devotees. A reference is made there for those who are very anxious anxious to intimate the behavior of Thakur Haridas is an unnatural way. One must receive order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or his representative before adopting such a way of life. The duty of the pure devotee or the servant of the Lord is to carry out the order of the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Nityananda Prabhu to go to Bengal and preach. And he asked the Goswamis, Rup and Sanatan, to go to Vrindavan and expurgate the lost places of pilgrimage. In this case, the Lord asked Haridas Thakur to remain there at Jagannath Puri and constantly chant the holy names of the Lord. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave different persons different orders, and consequently, one should not try to intimate the behavior of the Haridas Thakur without being ordered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or his representative. Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur condemns such imitation in this way. Dustamana tumi kisera Vaisnava Pratichara tare nirojanera ghare taba hari nama kebala kaitava. My dear mind, you are trying to intimate Haridas Thakur and chant the Hare Krishna mantra in the secluded place. But you are not worth being called a Vaishnava, because what you want is cheap popularity and not the actual qualifications of Haridas Thakur. If you try to intimate him, you will fall down. For your neophyte position will cause you to think of the woman and money. Thus you will fall into the clutches of Maya, and your so-called chanting in the secluded place will bring about your downfall. Text 196. When Nityananda Prabhu, Jagadananda Prabhu, Damodar Prabhu, and Mukunda Prabhu made Haridas Thakur, they all became very pleased. Text 197. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to his residence after taking bath in the sea, all devotees headed by Advaita Prabhu went to bath in the sea. Text 198. After bathing in the sea, Advaita Prabhu and all other devotees returned, and on their return, they saw the top of the Jagannath temple. They then went to the residence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to take their own luncheon. Text 199. One after the other, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made all the devotees sit in their proper places. He then began to distribute prasadam with his own transcendental hand. Text 200. All the devotees were served prasadam on flattened leaves, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed on each leaf a quantity suitable for 2 or 3 men to eat, for his hand could not distribute less than that. Hare Krishna.
1 minute बाकी एपिसोड को टेस्ट बनेगा ना
Hare Krishna.